We have been looking at Psalm 37, verses 1 through 8, and today we end on verse 8, and we read this: Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Do not fret, it only causes harm. So these are wise words from Scripture, and the directives are number one, cease from anger, stop being angry. Now, this could refer to a lower level of anger. Because what happens, we get frustrated about things and then we start thinking about it. And the more we think about it, the more we fuel our anger. And then he says, forsake wrath. Now, this is a higher level of anger. This is like an outright rage. And so, what tends to happen is the more we focus on what makes us upset, the more we think about it, the more intense it becomes. And then we get into this zone where we're not thinking properly. We are just out of control in our anger, and we are likely to do something or say something that is going to cause harm. And so this passage is saying, stop, forsake it, turn your back on it, flee from it. And then he goes on to say, do not fret. It only causes harm. Now, there's a couple things that we need to note about God's commandments. Anytime you read something in scripture that says, do this, number one, that implies we tend to not do that. Like we do the opposite. So God commands us to do what we need to do. So in this case, where he says, don't be angry, we tend to be angry about things. The other thing that we need to note about God's commandments is that when he commands us to do something, he is also offering us the help by which we can accomplish it. When we read in this verse in particular, don't be angry, do not fret, it only causes harm. We need to realize I tend to be angry and I can depend on God to help me to accomplish what he is directing me to do. So, in summary, we are told to trust the Lord, wait for him, rest in him, delight ourselves in him. That's on the positive side. And then we're told, don't fret, don't be angry, don't allow these things to upset you to the point where you are out of control. Learn to bring your burden to the Lord, learn to rest in him and delight yourself in him, because at the end of the day, everything's going to work out because he's your shepherd.